the list, bro. I asked I asked for for opinions on a top 10 list of African American wrestlers in history. I'm going with championship reigns, talent, drawing ability, character, mic work, all that stuff. I'm not just going with because in my opinion, if you're going with the best pure wrestler in wrestling history, probably Kurt Angle. And I'd say he's top 5 all the way around. But if you're going with the number one overall with everything, I don't know if I'd put Kurt Angle as my number one, wrestler of all time. That's why.
With everything would be Austin.
Oh yeah, probably. I'm going to read my list. If you got your list, and you can do yours, and then I'll read some off that I had on Facebook. I know I'm going men and women with this one. One woman is in it just because of historic value. Number 10, I said Shelton Benjamin because of he's gotten nothing but more popular since he left the WWE, traveling the world, and people are super excited to see him back in WWE. And he did a lot of great stuff when he was in WWE. I don't think they utilized him properly, especially with the whole gold standard thing. But, he still did some cool stuff. Number 9, Jacqueline, for historic value. She was a great wrestler, and she broke a lot of barriers. Bobby Lashley, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but seriously, people will come and pay their money to see Bobby Lashley beat up somebody. And I think his current work in TNA is pretty good. His mic work still blows, but he's a good champion. Rocky Johnson, very historic, did a lot, and he had a historic son, so there's that. Junkyard Dog, great wrestler all the way around. Everybody has great memories of him. Ron Simmons, first black WCW world champion. He was a great wrestler. I don't think WWE used him properly, but he was great in the APA once they got together. Booker T, 6-time World's Heavyweight Champion, was great everywhere he went, great on the mic, great entrance, everything. Bobo Brazil, first black World Heavyweight Champion ever, and drew a lot of money. Number 2, Ernie Ladd, I would say. I might switch Ernie with Bobo, I'm not sure, but Ernie had many, many big-time years in the business and was a big influence on a lot of people. And number 1, I'm going to say The Rock, because he is everything he says he is. So, that
was pretty obvious.
Yeah, I would say. And I had, like I mentioned to you, I had somebody on Facebook say, well, he shouldn't count because he's only half black. I don't think that friggin' matters.
It does not. Yeah.
So what are you thinking?
I'll read down my list. You did a good job explaining most of this. So number 10, I had Junkyard Dog.
All right.
Number 9, I have to say Kofi Kingston. He's just amazing.
Yeah, it was hard for me to
very
leave him
underrated,
off the list.
and just if they would give him a chance, he can be world champion.
Oh yeah.
Number 8, I had Bobby Lashley. Number 7, I had Shelton Benjamin. Number 6, I have MVP. That's a guy who I think they completely missed the boat on.
Yeah,
that guy could have been the guy in WWE.
The only thing that stopped me from putting him on that list was he screwed himself over a few times and kind of got kicked around, and he didn't get a chance to really shine. So that's why I kind of left him off the list.
Yeah, true. But if they would just let it be him, he could have been amazing. But
that's true.
Next, I had Too Cold Scorpio.
Yeah.
I think people forget about him, and oh my God, he was amazing in ECW.
Yep.
When they made him Flash Funk, it was stupid, but man, it got over huge. And again, they just did nothing with him. After them, I had Jay Lethal. I think he may be one of the best in the world right now, period.
Yep.
He's just so damn good. He's the best first-generation wrestler in history.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Well, and he's got everything: the mic work, the look, the character, the in-ring work, attitude, and many people have touched on this. He's the perfect employee. He doesn't have any personal issues. He doesn't have any hang-ups. He does what he's told when he's told, and he's a company guy.
Yeah, and they made him that Macho Man gimmick, and let's be honest, that was obviously supposed to be a joke, but man, it blew up, and because of him. So,
oh yeah,
I had to put him on my list. Next, I had Ron Simmons.
Yep.
And then I had Booker T, and then number one's The Rock. So
those three have to be on everybody's list.
Yeah, I think The Rock is probably number one on everyone's list. Everything else is debatable.
Yeah, some of the ones I've seen on Facebook I told you about. Some of them I'm thinking, are you kidding? Because they're good, but they don't deserve to be on the list. Some of them I kind of laughed at, and some of them I don't even know who they are because they were so far back in the territory days.
When you read me some of those yesterday, I started Wikipediaing them. I'm like, who?
Well, I've seen names like somebody put Mark Henry in their top 10. I think that's.
I mean, it was a tough stretch. I wanted to put him in my top 10.
During his,
but I felt these guys are all better. Not that he's bad, but I felt these guys are all better.
Yeah, well, during his heel world title run, I thought he was great. His matches weren't, great. They were probably a 2-star match, but.
Well, he's a 400-pound guy. I mean, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, but
I mean, not all big guys are like Bam Bam Bigelow, to be fair.
Yeah, and his character was great. His mic work and everything, his promos. So I mean, and he was entertaining to watch.
And he was a true heel, by the way. You wanted to hate him, so
exactly.
That's a lost art.
Yep. And when he did that thing where he said he was going to retire, and then he turned on Cena and beat him up while wearing a suit, I thought that was pretty cool.
It really got me. I didn't see that coming. I really didn't.
I don't think if anybody says they saw it coming, they're lying.
Definitely.
But I've seen multiple people mention Thunderbolt Patterson and Iceman King Parsons. Not very familiar with their work. I've seen. I'm going through some of these. Tony Atlas, it was kind of hard to leave him out of the top 10. I think he had a great career.
He did, but I feel like Rocky Johnson is the guy, and I'm sorry to say this, but without him, people might not care about Tony Atlas in wrestling. I mean,
yeah,
definitely only in wrestling. I mean, he had a name outside of it. But
I've seen a lot of the ones in your list and my list. I'm seeing another one is somebody put R-Truth in their top 10, and while he's a great wrestler and he just, I don't know, when he comes out, people just. You either dance with him with the kids, or you kind of just sit there and go, when is this over? So I mean, I like Golden Truth, but it's a what do you call that? It's one of those things that you don't like to admit you like, you kind of do. Guilty pleasure. Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is.
Well, I've seen Coco Beware in a few lists. While I think he was great and he was entertaining, top 10, I don't think so.
Well, if you asked me maybe 25 years ago, I probably would have my top 10. I would have had him and Junkyard Dog my number 1 and number 2.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, those were my guys.
They were fun at their time, but another one I saw that I had to laugh at, but somebody said Kamala in their top 10. And good Lord. I don't know what to say about that one. He had a cool character, but he was very cartoonish. He wasn't able to evolve with that character, and his in-ring work was not good. So I mean, he could hold a match with somebody, but I know, and the two on the opposite side, somebody said the three worst is Ahmed Johnson, Virgil, and Monty Brown. I don't agree with 2 of those 3.
I don't. That Monty Brown was a misboat, and
yep.
People make fun of Virgil to this day, but he was not a bad wrestler. I'm sorry, it's not bad.
he was lame.
He's made an ass of himself now, but
yeah.
he's definitely not a bad wrestler.
He was kind of lame, but yeah. And Ahmed Johnson, while he was not a good wrestler, he was pretty hot there for a minute. And if he wouldn't have been...
He had it.
Yeah.
He was the guy, and yeah.
If he wouldn't have been such a doofus, I think he would have...
well, yeah. I think he was also hurting people, too.
Oh, yeah.
Too. He was very careless, so...
Yeah, so if he wasn't such a doofus in the ring, I think he could have been way bigger than he was. There was a big story told about he was working some independent promotion, and the guy came to pick him up at his hotel, and he said, "I'm not getting in your car. You send me a limo." And he said, "I'm not getting in the limo." Or he's like, "I'm not getting a limo. You get in the car." And he's like, "No, I'm not leaving until you get me a limo." And he refused to go to the show. So the guy running the show...
Like, who the hell are you?
Yeah, well, the guy running the show went over the PA system and said, we regret to inform you that Ahmed Johnson will not be here tonight as we had advertised. He refuses to come to the building because we haven't sent a limo for him. If you would like to express your displeasure, here's his phone number at the hotel room. So I guess everybody at the show blew up his phone all night and he didn't get any sleep. So that's what you get. Well, and it's just constant stuff like that. It wasn't a one-off. It was constant with him. But before I wrap this up, I'm always going to ask, new top 10 lists. I'm going to ask 2 this time, just because it shouldn't take too long to go through it. I want people's opinions online. The first one is top 10 current UK wrestlers. And I'm talking when I say UK, I mean British, Welsh, Irish, and Scottish. I mean, that covers a lot of ground, but I'm talking current, because if you're talking all time, you have to throw Piper and Finlay and Regal and people like that in there. That would be too easy.
I think Regal would be on top, but...
yeah, he would definitely be...
debatable between him and Bulldog for me, but I think it would be Regal.
Yeah, probably. And then, so that would be too easy. I was saying current British wrestlers, or UK wrestlers. And then the other one, top 10 current Japanese wrestlers. And I was saying current because, again, that one would be too easy to fill out with, Kenta Kobashi, Mitsuharu Misawa, and, Great Muta, and people like that. I mean, that you can fill that list up real quick. They blow everybody else away in a lot of respects. But there are a lot of Japanese wrestlers, or not even they're in WWE now, TNA, all over the place. So hit me up with your top 10 lists on Twitter, Facebook. Twitter's @PodWrestSociety. Facebook is facebook.com/PodWrestSociety.